Have you ever walked into a room and felt like a giant neon sign was pointing directly at your flaws? Maybe it's a tiny ketchup stain on your shirt, or you've realized you're wearing mismatched socks. You're convinced that every person you pass is silently laughing at you. Your heart is racing, and you're already planning your move to a remote island where nobody knows your name. It's a paralyzing feeling, the sensation that the entire world is a theater, and you are the only actor on stage under a blinding spotlight. But I have news for you. Nobody is looking at you. Most people are so deep in their own heads they wouldn't notice if you walked past wearing a suit made of disco balls. I'm Willow, and today on the Clever Clover, we're breaking down the spotlight effect. We're going to find out why your brain is biologically programmed to make you feel like the center of a world that isn't actually paying attention. Let's look behind the curtain of your social anxiety. Before we count down the biggest glitches in our social hardware, we have to talk about the mirror glitch. When you look in a mirror, you see yourself exactly as you are. But when you walk out into the world, your brain replaces that mirror with a social lens. This lens is distorted. It magnifies your insecurities by 1000%. If you have a pimple, your brain tells you it's a third eye. If you tripped over your words in a meeting, your brain tells you that you've been branded as incompetent for life. We are all walking around carrying the weight of an imaginary audience. We act, speak, and even breathe according to what we think this audience wants. But here is the twist. That audience is actually just a hall of mirrors. You are performing for people who are too busy performing for you. We're wasting an incredible amount of mental energy trying to fix a glitch that only we can see. So, how did we get this way? And just how much of our social anxiety is based on a total lie? Let's start the countdown with the experiment that proved our brains are making it all up. Number 8, the 50% error. To understand this glitch, we look at a famous study from 2000. Researchers forced students to wear a t-shirt featuring the face of Barry Manilow, which for a college student back then was the ultimate social death sentence. The students were certain that at least half of the people they encountered would notice the shirt and judge them. The actual result? Less than 25%. The vast majority of people didn't even register that a 70s pop icon was staring back at them. This revealed a fundamental truth. We overestimate our own visibility by nearly double. We think we're the lead actor, but to everyone else, we're barely a background extra. Number 7, the egocentric anchor. Why is our brain such a bad judge of reality? You have spent every single second of your existence behind your own eyes. Because your own experience is so constant, you anchor your perception of the world on yourself. It's like a GPS system that only shows your blue dot. Your brain assumes that because you are hyper-aware of your messy hair, everyone else must be too. But everyone else is also anchored to their own blue dot. They are far too busy navigating their own lives, worrying about their own debts and bad haircuts, to spend even a second analysing yours. It's a room full of people worried about being watched, while nobody is actually doing the watching. Number 6, the illusion of transparency. This is the belief that your internal state is leaking out for everyone to see. Have you ever given a presentation and felt like your hands were shaking so hard it looked like an earthquake? You're certain the audience can hear your heart hammering. In reality, people are remarkably bad at reading your internal chaos. We have privileged access to our own feelings, so we assume they are visible to the naked eye. But observers almost always rate speakers as looking more confident than they feel. Unless you announce your panic, most people will just see the calm version of you that you've presented to the world. Number 5, the memory asymmetry. This is the 2 a.m. glitch. You're lying in bed when your brain plays a replay of that time you said "you too" to a waiter who said "enjoy your meal." You imagine that waiter still tells stories about you. But memory is selfish. We remember our own social stumbles because they felt like a threat. But for everyone else, that moment was a micro event, purged from their memory within minutes. They didn't catalog it, they didn't archive it. While you're building a museum dedicated to your failures, the witnesses have already lost the ticket and forgotten the building even exists. Number 4. The digital magnifier. Social media has turned this glitch into an epidemic. When we post a photo, we agonize over every pixel, assuming every follower is scrutinizing the image with a magnifying glass. But think about how you use social media. You scroll past hundreds of posts. You might give a split-second double tap, but you aren't judging someone's choice of emojis. We are performing for a crowd that is mostly looking at their own reflections in the glass. The audience we fear is just a projection of our own vanity. Number 3. Protagonist Syndrome. This is the feeling that your life has a scripted plot that the world is following. It makes us terrified of bad reviews, so we stop ourselves from taking risks, like joining a dance class or speaking up in a meeting. We forget that being a background extra in other people's lives is a gift. It means you can fail, learn, and be weird without the weight of imaginary judgment. If nobody is watching, you are finally free to be the glitch in the system. Number 2. The survival glitch. Why did nature give us such an exhausting brain? Because for our ancestors, social reputation was life or death. If you did something that lowered your status in a small tribe, you risked exile. Your brain developed the spotlight effect as an early warning system. The problem is, your brain is still using that 50,000-year-old software to navigate a world of 8 billion people. It thinks a ketchup stain is a threat to your survival. It's a smoke alarm that goes off every time you toast bread. Well-intentioned, but mostly just a loud, distracting noise. And finally, number 1, the Sonder shift. This is the ultimate cure for the social glitched brain. To fix this, we need to invite a concept into our minds called Sonder. It's the profound, almost overwhelming realization that every single stranger you pass, the woman staring at the train schedule, the barista with the tired eyes, the driver tapping their fingers on the steering wheel, is living a life as vivid, complicated, and frantic as your own. They aren't just background characters in your movie, they are the stars of their own high-stakes drama. They have their own secret heartbreaks, their own mounting bills, and their own metaphorical ketchup stains they are desperately trying to hide from you. They are so busy managing their own internal chaos that they simply don't have the mental bandwidth to judge yours. To them, you aren't a protagonist to be critiqued, you're just a passing blur in their own crowded story. This is where we try the Clover flip. The next time you feel that burning heat of the spotlight on your neck, stop asking, "How do I look to them?" and start asking, "What is it like to be them?" Look at a stranger and wonder what their favorite childhood memory is, or what they're worried about today. When you turn the spotlight outward and shine it on someone else's humanity, it stops blinding you. You realize that you aren't a specimen under a microscope. You are just one voice in a beautiful, messy choir. You aren't the center of the world. You're a part of it. And mind yourself, because being just a part of it, that's where the real freedom is. The spotlight isn't real. It's a construction of your own attention. When you realize the world isn't a stage where you're being judged, but a park where everyone is just trying to get by, the pressure evaporates. The only person truly watching you is you. Maybe it's time you started being a more forgiving audience member. If this video helped you feel a little less exposed, leave a comment and tell me about a time you worried about a mistake that nobody else even saw. It helps the Clever Clover grow and reminds us all we're in this together. Subscribe for more glitches in our Why Your Brain is Broken series. Until next time, stay curious, stay real, and remember, they aren't looking at your socks. Mind yourself.